believe this is happening. I heard some yelling over by Frank's cabin over there. They should go check up on him, see if he's okay. I've seen hairy situations before, but not like that.
I need to brief you on what's really going on here. I know who you are, Deputy, and I know what you're doing. My name is Special Agent Willis Huntley. The man in charge has been monitoring Eden's Gate for some time. I've been sent by the highest authority to handle it. But the prepubescent eggheads at Langley tell me this is a sharing economy now, and before we help you, you need to do something for us. So just like a fine Turkish sauna, you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. Pardon my French. Get in my car and I'll explain. I was on vacation visiting all 50 states in ascending order of patriotism when I got a call. The call. I've been sent here on a special mission from the big man himself. Jesus, tap-dancing Christ, just saying that gets me semi-erect. Pardon my French. I need to recover a tape that, if released, could make him look bad to the public. I tracked it here, to a member of Joseph's happy family. He stashed it somewhere, and that's where you come in. I'm gonna lure out our man, then you're gonna follow him back to his hidey hole and get the tape back for me. Do this for your country, and your country will solve your little cult problem for you. We're here. Follow me. Go on foot the rest of the way. You'd be amazed what a person will do to get out of a steel leg trap. I need access to the Zeus! If you're itching for a gunfight, take it up with Eden's Gate. Attention, comrade. The bed has been wet. Repeat, the bed has been wet.
Who is this? How did you get on this frequency?
I don't have time to explain, but your bunker is compromised. You need to move fast.
Damn it. I'm at the boy's house. Send me a chopper and I'll take care of it.
It's tailing time, Deputy. Follow that chopper to Boyd's house. Let the target get in, and they'll lead you down the yellow brick road. Remember, as ironic as this may sound, this is not a wet works mission. Surveillance only. Do not engage the target unless instructed. There's the chopper, right on time. If you got a wingsuit, you can jump off the tower and follow it down. Otherwise, I spotted an ATV that'll get the job done. Now get going.
Remember, we still need to find where he's hiding the tape. Any idiot with a stick can pull off wet works. Espionage is what separates us from the animals. With a visitor's private time in a luxury suite, and he came back to bite him in the rear, pardon my French. He fled Kremlandia, wriggled his way into the US of A, and wouldn't you know it, Joseph found him and offered him sanctuary. I'm not letting that bearded kumbaya nutcase have any leverage over the big boss. Clear the area. We're looking for a hard copy, likely an old VHS tape. I'm on my way to you now. Have it ready for me.
Sorry, kid. I've got bigger fish to fry, and this little bearded uprising is suddenly below my pay grade. The American way used to mean a deal was a deal, but we live in a new America now. I know you're wishing for a handout, but that's just how it is. Reminds me of something my grandmother used to say to me. Wish in one hand, shit in the other, and see which one fills up first. Ah, I miss her. See you around, kid. There's plenty of conspiracies going around these days. How's this one for you? The big man's current wife is an operative who has been honeypotting him for a long game tactic on behalf of another country. And what if he's actually a CIA operative who's been doing everything to make the other country believe he's in their pocket when he's actually playing them? The man's no idiot. He builds skyscrapers. Since WW2, you know how many times the Earth has been on the verge of Armageddon? Thousands. I'm guessing this is your first. You'll get used to it. By the third one, you'll see. It's a manipulation tactic co-created by the Russians and the US to be used on the masses as a distraction. I understand you've had to do some crazy things during this whole cult situation. Let me tell you, as long as you live through it, whatever you do will be justified in the name of the law. On top of being majestic, this land is really important. Want to know why? A birdie told me that instead of a library, he's planning to build a country club. And Hope County is one of a handful of locations he's considering. Deputy, I used to say there's only two kinds of patriots, but over time, I've seen that there's three. The people who hold their hand on their heart at a ball game, those who fight for their country, and those who scroll through life instead of living it. I love this part of our land. The best chefs in the country are right here. They know how to cook everything with a pulse and know how to make it tasty. I ate a deep-fried bald eagle once. It was the most amazing meal of my life. It tasted like freedom. It's funny how life plays out, Deputy. For decades, I've been defending the Stars and Stripes from terrorists, bad hombres, and every variation of pinko you can imagine. Through it all, I never got a call from the guy in charge. He's the first. I mean, it was during my vacation, but still, it's an honor. Cults. They always give me déjà vu. A crazy leader riles up weak-minded people. He says he'll solve all their problems. Then he can't come through on all his promises, and wouldn't you know it, he does something that ticks off the government. Then comes a standoff. A lot of bodies. The end game's always the same with these guys. You know what the man said to me during our first face-to-face? Here and abroad, people look at Americans and see us being weak. We need to craft bullets on anyone that disrespects us, pardon his French. He's right. Ask King George III, Saddam, or Osama about what happens when you don't respect Americans. Oh, that's right. You can. I've been to Montana before, when I was a kid. My parents took me on a trip where we visited all 50 states. I did it again with the missus a couple of years ago, but this time I plotted it out so we'd visit the states in order of patriotism. I'm sorry, you're basically on your own with Eden's Gate. Eden's Gate is doing wonders with mind control. Whatever they've put into the water is better than MK Ultra, cable news, and social media combined. They're light years ahead of any government behavior modification program, and quite frankly, that's embarrassing. Look at this place. It's like America on a smaller scale. You have Eden's Gate, outsiders settled here looking for a better tomorrow, but they don't accept people with different beliefs. They lash out. Then there's you and the people fighting by your side. All colors, creeds, religions. Rather than be divided, you've come together as Americans to help each other out and remind Eden's Gate that this is a no-fly zone for fascist cults. I know this cult business is really bad, but on the list of top 10 problems in the world at this moment, it's number 17. Sweden, Des Moines, Cuba, Montreal, and get this, Mars. They're all in shambles. I'm sorry, you're basically on your own with Eden's Gate. I asked the big man if I could do more, but he wants me to take care of this thing in Cuba next. Don't quote me on it, but before you and I kick the bucket, that country's going to be a U.S. state. One time, I wound up babysitting this SoCal douchebag who got his friends caught by slavers in the Rook Islands. Never did follow up to see what happened to him. The first lesson they teach you in the CIA is never care about a patsy. I'm so happy we're on the same page about the bad guys here. Normally, I'd have to find a helpless American trapped in a far-off country and get them to do the dirty work. It's a moral gray zone, and it's a dirty part of my job. It's refreshing not having to do that with you, Deputy. You and I are after the same three things here: law, order, and justice. The target uses a computer. I know. An anti-technology cultist who uses a computer? If you haven't learned by now, everyone's a hypocrite and don't trust anyone. Except me. The number one question I get whenever I work with local law enforcement is, how did you get into the CIA? The answer's simple. It's in my blood. I'm a descendant of Abraham Woodhull, a.k.a. Samuel Culper. Don't know who that is? Of course you don't. American history textbooks are made in Texas, so they love omitting heroes from Long Island. My relative was George Washington's best spy and helped him win the War of Independence. It's funny how life plays out, Deputy. For decades, I've been defending the Stars and Stripes from terrorists, bad hombres, and every variation of pinko you can imagine. Through it all, I never got a call from the guy in charge. He's the first. I mean, it was during my vacation, but still, it's an honor. There's plenty of conspiracies going around these days. How's this one for you? The big man's current wife is an operative who has been honeypotting him for a long game tactic on behalf of another country. And what if he's actually a CIA operative who's been doing everything to make the other country believe he's in their pocket when he's actually playing them? The man's no idiot. He builds skyscrapers. You wrap up this conflict and you're gonna make the man in charge a very, very, very happy man. Who knows? You might even get an invite to play golf with him. I've done it twice. It's got the best 18 holes in Florida. I love this part of our land. The best chefs in the country are right here. They know how to cook everything with a pulse and know how to make it tasty. I ate a deep-fried bald eagle once. It was the most amazing meal of my life. It tasted like freedom. I know this cult business is really bad, but on the list of top 10 problems in the world at this moment, it's number 17. Sweden, Des Moines, Cuba, Montreal, and get this, Mars. They're all in shambles. Oh man, I'm in love with the little local resistance here. They all have a hoarding, fetishistic relationship with firearms. They love their country but are suspicious of its government. They think for themselves and question authority. And deep down, they love their freedom. They might be the perfect Americans. I've been to Montana before, when I was a kid. My parents took me on a trip where we visited all 50 states. I did it again with the missus a couple of years ago, but this time I plotted it out so we'd visit the states in order of patriotism. Here's a pro tip for you, Deputy. If you ever find yourself in a situation where you need to use a patsy, find out what their father issue is before you get started. I found a guy in Kirat, American on the inside and useful on the outside. Dangled some intel about his long-lost daddy, and he was only too eager to help out. Everyone wants closure. Here's the sad truth. Nobody ever really gets it. There's an individual in this area I need to warn you about. Zip Kupka. He's one of those conspiracy theorists. But the guy's actually right about a lot of things. The government has a tracking software that identifies people who believe in conspiracy theories and gives a number rating on how much these people get correct. Old Zip's sitting at a 4.3.